Now, you might have chosen to take your quiz first or second. It's up to you whether you wanted to do the worksheet first and then do the quiz, or take the quiz first and then do the worksheet. However, hopefully you looked at the posters and the resources. I think it's Unit 7 poster for the quadratics. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my throat right now. So hopefully you looked at that to decide if you make sure you had your questions right. So you hopefully all got 100 on the quiz, all right? Now, today on the worksheet, we are looking at tables. So remember, when you have a quadratic, it's going up, 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 and then down, 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 down. And it's the y numbers that are going up, and then the y numbers are coming back down. The x's are going from left to right as you go across, okay? So x's are going left to right, getting bigger, 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 and the y numbers are going up, 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 and then the y numbers start coming back down. Or it's the reverse. The x numbers are still going left to right, and you're going down, 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 and then up, up, up. So it changes direction is the point. On a parabola, you change direction. So what they're giving us today is they're giving us the table. We don't have an equation, we don't have a picture to look at, but we still want to find some interesting things on here, right? So what we do is you look at the pattern in the table. My x's are going from -3 to -2. That's going to the right on the number line. From -2 to -1, going right. -1 to 0, I'm still moving right on the number line. 0 to 1. So remember, on the x-axis, you would have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So all these numbers are moving left to right. So as I'm moving left to right, let's see what the y numbers are doing. I'm going from 0 to a -3. Well, that is going down on the y-axis. I'm going from 0 down to a negative number. And then I'm going down to a -4, which is even below -3. But then from -4 to -3, what is happening? You're coming back up. So these were going down, but then from here we're going back up. From -4 to -3 is up. From -3 to 0 is up. So we started off going down, and then we came up. So this is the shape of my parabola. It's a smiley face. So look at the pattern on the y numbers. Are they going down first, or are they going up first? And then they're going to change direction. Since this is, it helps to sketch what you happened. You went down then up, so this is a smiley face. Does this have a max or a min? It's a low point, so it's got a minimum. So what I'm going to do is look at the y list of numbers and find the smallest y number. 0 is bigger than negative numbers. 0 is bigger than negative numbers. Now, -4 is smaller than -3 because it's further down on the y-axis. So -4 is my smallest y number. So that means this is my vertex, okay? So that's the smallest number because these are both coming back up. So -1, -4 is my vertex. Okay, that's the low point on my y numbers. That's the low point on my parabola. So as soon as I know this, do I know my axis of symmetry? Yes, the vertical line that goes right through the middle is always x equals, and it equals the negative, or equals the x number in my vertex. So this is x equals -1. X intercepts and y intercepts. Now remember, earlier this year we talked about looking for intercepts. If you're on the x-axis or the y-axis, which is where the intercepts are located, there will always be a 0 in your ordered pair. If there's a 0 first and a number second, that means you have a number in the y position. That is a y-intercept. If you have a 0 in the y and a number in the x position, so that means it is an x-intercept. But regardless, they will always have a 0 in them. So if I'm looking for intercepts in a table, I'm looking for points that have zeros in them. So let's go look at our table. Does this one have a 0 in it? Yes, I'm going to put an arrow here. That will be one of my intercepts. This one does not have any zeros. This one does not have any zeros, but this one does have a 0, so this is another intercept. Does this one have a 0? Yes, it does. So now the question is to figure out which ones are x-intercepts and which ones are y-intercepts. Does this one have a number in the x position? So that's an x-intercept. So one of my x-intercepts is -3. That parabola is crossing the x-axis at -3. And there'll probably be another one. Let's see. Now, does this one have a number in the x position? No. Does this one have a number in the x position? Yes. So -3 and 1 is where that parabola is crossing the x-axis. If you were to sketch it somewhere, one of these would be a +1, and one of these would be a -3 on the x-axis. All right. Now, the y-intercept, the one that's not being used is this one. Does it have a number in the y position? Yes. So this one is my y-intercept. So it's crossing the y-axis at -3. See how that easy is to pick that up from the table, the things that we can find? All right, so here's another one. Let's go find the vertex. So look at the pattern. My x numbers are going in order from left to right. from negative, going to the right, going to the right, going to the right, going to the right. So I just kind of double check that the x numbers are moving in the right direction. So now my y numbers. From 0 to 1, I'm going up. Oh, but from 1 to 0, I'm going down, and then down further. So I went up first and then down. So I'm going to go up first and then down. Okay, I'm going to move from left to right. I go up first and then down. So this is my shape of it. This has got a high point. That means it's a maximum, so I'm looking for the biggest y number. And what is the biggest y number in this list? Well, 1 is the biggest y number. So negative 4, 1 is my vertex. And as soon as I know the vertex, do I know my axis of symmetry? Yes, it's x equals the x number, negative 4. Did you also happen to know what the max is? Yes, so the max is a 1. They didn't ask you for that, but the max is 1. Same thing over here. The minimum was a negative 4. But they want to find the intercepts now. So in the table, the intercepts always had zeros in them. So this is an intercept, not an intercept. This is an intercept, not an intercept. This one's an intercept. So the question now is which ones are x-intercepts and which ones are y's. If there is a number in the x position, it is an x-intercept. So it's crossing at negative 5, and it's crossing at negative 3 because there's a number in the x position. So those are the two places it's crossing the x-axis. Where is it crossing the y-axis? Right here at negative 15 because that's my y-intercept because it's in the y position. So negative 15 is my y-intercept. Intercepts always have zeros in them. Okay, so there we go. Stop your video, pause it, go try the next one on your own, see how you do. Come back to me and when you're done and check your answers. Okay, hopefully you paused your video and you're coming back. So I'm looking for the vertex and I'm wanting to look for the pattern here. So again, the x numbers are going from left to right. They're getting bigger, 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 bigger. So that's good. My y numbers are going from negative 8 to negative 9. That is going down. I'm getting smaller. And then from negative 9, I went back up to 8, back up to negative 5, and still up further to 0. So we went down first, and then I'm coming up, up, up. So down first, oops, and up, up, up. So down then up. So this is a a smiley face, which means it's a minimum. So if it's a minimum, I'm looking for the smallest y number, right? Because on the y-axis, this is going to low point. So I want the smallest y number on here. Negative 9 is smaller than negative 8 because it's further down the y-axis. So negative 1, negative 9 is my y-intercept. And put parentheses around it. It's an ordered pair. The axis of symmetry, that's my x number. The line goes right through that number, so x equals negative 1. That's the equation of that vertical line that goes right down the middle. X-intercepts and y-intercepts. Intercepts always have what number in them? A 0. This one has a 0, not a 0. This one has a 0. So all we have on here, let's see, I've got, this is a y-intercept. Oops. So this is crossing at negative 8, so my y-intercept is negative 8. That's where it's crossing the y-axis. This one is an x-intercept. So I don't have all the points in the graph, so either there's just one x-intercept or there's a second one, but it's just not in the graph or in the table. So all I can do is point out the ones that are here. So there is an x-intercept of 2 and there is a y-intercept of negative 8, but that's all I know. All right, pause your video, go try number 4 if you want. Go try number 4 on your own. You need to try them on your own. Pause the video. Okay, hopefully you did that. Now you're coming back and we want to look for the vertex. So since it's asking for the vertex, you should be thinking, oh, it's a parabola. So I'm looking for where it's changing direction. So the x numbers are getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, it's moving from left to right on the x-axis. From 0 to negative 3, you're going down. Negative 3 to negative 4, down some more. Negative 4 to negative 3 is back up and back up. So we went down first and then back up. So we have a smiley face. So we're looking for the low spot. What is the smallest y number? Well, that is negative 4 is the smallest y number. So 4 comma negative 4 is my vertex. Make sure you put parentheses around it. It's an ordered pair. The axis of symmetry we immediately know is x equals 4 because it's running right through that vertex at 4. Boom, 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 right through there. The x-intercept and y-intercepts both have zeros in them, so in the table all I can see are the ones that they give me. There's one there. There's one here. Are there any other zeros? Nope. So I just have 2. Is this an x-intercept or y-intercept? It is an x. Is this one an x-intercept or y-intercept? It is an x-intercept. So 2 and 6 are my 2 x-intercepts. Now, There probably is a y-intercept because it's crossing the y-axis somewhere. I just can't see it. So none shown, right? Or none in table. I just can't see it. Number 5. Again, pause your video. Actually, go do 5 and 6 and then come back and check both answers. Okay, hopefully you went and did those and you actually paused the video and then now you're coming back. So we're looking for the vertex. So I'm looking for where it's changing direction. -3 to -2, -1, 0, 1. So all my x's are moving from left to right. So my y numbers are going down and then up and up. So we started off down and then we came up, which means it is a smiley face. It's got a low spot, a minimum. So I'm looking for the smallest y number, and the smallest y number in this list is -8. So this is my, remember, just look at the y numbers. We're looking for, that is the vertex. So -1 is where it changed direction. -8. There we go. Now, axis of symmetry, as soon as I know the vertex, I know it's x equals -1. Oops, not a very pretty negative, but pretend it is. And then we're looking for the intercepts. What do intercepts always have in them? A 0 is one of the ordered, or is one of the numbers in the ordered pair. So this one is an intercept, not an intercept, not an intercept. This one's an intercept, and that one's an intercept. So now I need to decide their x-intercepts or y-intercepts. This one has a number in the x position, so it's an x-intercept. This one has a number in the x position, so these two are your x-intercepts, -3 and 1. The parabola is crossing the x-axis at those 2 points. The y-intercept is this one because there's the number in the y position, so it's crossing the y-axis at -6. There we go. See how easy these are? Number 6, the x numbers are going from negative to 0 to positive to bigger, bigger, bigger. So the x numbers are moving from left to right. And my y numbers are going from 0 to -8, that's down, down some more, back up some more. So we went down first, and then we came up. So it's a smiley face, which means it's a minimum, it's a low spot. So I want the smallest number in this list, and that is my smallest number in the list is a -9. So 1, -9 is my vertex. That's where it's changing direction. That point right there is 1, -9. It's my vertex. As soon as I know the vertex, I know the axis of symmetry is x equals 1. I also know that the minimum is -9. Intercepts. I have an intercept here because there's a 0 in that ordered pair. That has a 0 in the ordered pair. This one has a 0 in the ordered pair. None of the rest of them do. This one has a number in the x position. This one has a number in the x position. So these two are x-intercepts, -2 and 4. This is where my graph is crossing the x-axis at those 2 points. My y-intercept, oops, not that one, is this one. There's a 0 there, so the -8 is my y-intercept. It's crossing the y-axis at -8. See, those were not that hard to do at all, were they? The things that you can see from a table. Now, 7, 8, and 9, what they want you to do is factor these. I know there's no directions, but we're going to factor them. So we can take these, and since these answers are here, you can multiply all the answers together and see which one will give you this. Or you could just go ahead and factor it by hand. I'm kind of thinking I might just want to multiply the 2 answers together, but we'll see. Now, this number sitting outside this means that it had a GCF of 4. Does 4 go evenly into 3? No, it does not. So could 4 possibly be the GCF? No, it cannot. 4 doesn't go evenly into 2, and 4 doesn't go evenly into 16. It would have to go evenly into all 3, and it does not. The only thing it went evenly into was 16. So that one's out of the way. So you can do double distribution. If you do 3x times x, do you get 3x squared? Yes. X times 3x? Yes, 3x squared. 3x times x? Yes, 3x squared. And those are the only 3 I'm checking. And then I can go back and do the last number to get -16. -2 times 8 is -16. 2 times a -8 is also -16, and 2 times -8 is also -16. So all 3 work for the first one and the last one. So I literally am going to have to go do the middle terms to get this middle piece in here. So 3 times 8 is 24x. I'm going to put a little 24x over here. There you go. And then when I do the -2 times x, I get a -2x. So these are the 2 middle terms. If I do 24 minus 2, you get 22x. Do I want a positive 22x? No, I wanted a negative 22x, so get rid of that one. When I do the x times the -8, I get -8x. If I do 2 times 3, I get positive 6x. If I add these two together like terms, I get -2x. Do I want -2x? Nope. If I do 3 times the -8, I get -24x. If I do the 2 times the x in the middle, I get a positive 2x. If I do negative 24 plus 2, will I get a negative 22? Yes, there's my middle term, so C is the answer. So you can always multiply the answers together if they give them to you. You could have also done slide and divide and gone and factored it that way. So a couple of ways of doing it. 9a squared minus 25. Now all these answers, so these two things are being multiplied together to give you that. Since this thing is being shown as squared, what it is rewrite it as the two binomials. This is 3a minus 5 times. Now this is being squared. That means this thing's being multiplied times itself. So this is another 3a minus 5. So sometimes it helps to rewrite these side by side so you can see this. This is 3a minus 5 times 3a minus 5. That's how you write something being squared. It's the same thing times itself. Now this piece is also being squared, so it's 3a plus 25 times 3a plus 25. So this is actually 3a plus 25 times 3a plus 25. So this way I could just go multiply the two answers together, see if I get that. And this one is 2a plus 5 times 2a plus 5, because that whole parentheses is being squared. There we go. Now, if I do negative 5 times negative 5, I get a positive 25. Is that what I want my number to be on the end? Nope, it's not. Get rid of it. Now, you may say, well, what happened to the middle one? This is 9a squared plus 0a minus 25. So the last two numbers multiplied together should equal negative 25. These two do not give me a negative 25. They give me a positive 25, so get rid of it. Now, 25 times 25, I don't know if you remember, but that's 625. It is not 25, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Now, this last one, or this one is 5 times 5, and 5 times 5 is positive 25. I don't want a positive 25, do I? I do not, so that won't work either. Let's see if the last one works. What's 5 times negative 5? That does give me a negative 25. If I add these two numbers together, they should cancel out to a 0, do they? They do. And if you multiply 3a times 3a, do you get 9a squared? We do, so I think D is the right answer. There you go. And again, this last one, we want to factor this. Now, they only gave me one set of factors, so I can't multiply the answers. I actually am going to have to factor this one by hand. So let's go do this. It is going to be, or it could be not factorable. So let's go see. I've got an n times an n, and I'm going to make a list of numbers because these two numbers multiplied together have to equal 50. So 1 times 50, 2 times 25. Oops, I'm going to have to write this down and hold the paper. 3 won't go evenly. 4 won't go evenly. 5 times 10. 6 won't go evenly. 7 won't go evenly. 8 won't go evenly. 9 won't go evenly. And 10 is it. So it's one of these three. We need the middle number to be a 5. If I add or subtract these, I get 51 or 49, not my 5. If I add them, I get 27. Subtract, I get 23, not my 5. If I add them, I get 15. But if I subtract these two numbers, I get a 5. And since I want the answer to be negative, I'm going to make the bigger one negative. Oops, make it negative. I'm going to try to make it negative. There we go. And the other one positive. If I add these two numbers together, 5 minus 10, you get a negative 5, which is what I want. If I multiply them together, I get a negative 50, which is what I want. So plus 5 minus 10. Plus 5 minus 10. So that means I'm looking for either n plus 5 or n minus 10. And there's my n plus 5 right there. So C is one of my factors. It matched this one right there. There we go. You'll have another video for the second page.